David here, and it's been a while. Last week I didn't do a live stream, so I'm doing two this week. So I'll do one tonight, and then I'll also be coming back on tomorrow, the regular time at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I just wanted to kind of go. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me now. Let's see. Okay, can you guys hear me now? And if it's echoey, then I apologize. Let's see. How does it sound now? Okay, so I get a yes, so that's good. And all right, sounds good. All right, I haven't been on here in a while. I took all my stuff. I left. I went to Vegas last weekend for the Super Bowl, watch Super Bowl, and it's kind of a thing we do every year. So I took all my stuff down. I was going to do a live stream there, and I get to the hotel and I try to get on live stream, and it's just the internet connection was just not good, so I wasn't able to do one. But I took everything apart, so now I have to kind of rework everything. But thank you guys all for stopping by, and we're gonna, as I talked about a little bit before, you guys didn't hear what I was saying, but I renewed my passport, so I just got it back yesterday. And I want to talk about that experience because I had a really good experience with that. And then I got the new Explorer card, or not the new Explorer card, but I got an Explorer card, but I got the business card. And I'm going to explain to you the reason why I went with business instead of the personal. So we'll talk about that stuff. And thank you guys all for stopping by. And if you guys have questions, things like that, just feel free to put it out there. Let me make sure here. Okay, just making sure it's this mic and not the mic from the computer. Okay, let's get started. The first thing, I actually want to go over the card first. So let's talk about the card first, and I'll pull that up so we can all take a look at the card as soon as we get this internet working, right? And let's see, United. Now, I went with the Explorer card over, first I should say, I have the American Express Advantage card, the $95 annual fee one, and I've had that card for going on 3 years now. And the card is okay, but I don't like flying with American Airlines. And initially I was all on board with American Airlines, but their customer service just wasn't getting it. And I've flown with them a few times, and it's the same situation every time that I fly. And so now I've gotten to the point where it's not even worth it, and I would much rather fly with another airline. So that's kind of where I am when it comes to that. So I decided to look at getting another card, and the card that I was hearing a lot about is the United card. And so I looked into that. I've flown with the United a couple of times. I just went to Thailand a few months back, and I flew on United. I flew in the business class, or Polaris, whatever they call it, business class. It was okay. It wasn't excellent, but it was better than American Airlines. So that's kind of what kind of piqued my interest when it came to United, to getting their card. And so let me pull up this screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. And there we go. All right, so the main reason that I went, so first off, I do have a business, a part-time business that I do with photography. So I travel and take pictures, as well as have YouTube channel going and all that. So I was able to qualify for a business card, and it really isn't that hard. If you have a side business, you can probably qualify. So just keep that in mind. You do, like, I'm a sole proprietor, so I don't have like a corporation or anything like that. So I do use my social security number when they ask for like a tax ID, and you're totally able to do that. They do, even when you're filling out the application, it says on there, if you're a sole proprietor, you can use your social security number. So you can use that. And I would strongly encourage people to, if you do have a side business going, to try to get a business card, at least one or two. And one of the reasons for that is if you're getting a bunch of cards and the 524 rule and all that stuff that you hear about, for me to qualify to get this card, yes, I have to fall under the 524. However, the card, because it's a business card, doesn't show up as a card that, how can I say this? It doesn't count as one of the cards. So if I have this card with Chase, it doesn't count as one of the 524. They won't allow me to get the card if I'm over 524. But if I do get the card, and let's say I have 4 cards and I get this card and it's a business card, well, I still have another slot open I can get another card if I want to do that. So just keep that in mind. A lot of business cards work that way, where it doesn't go toward your 524. And we have to all kind of look at the whole 524 rule as it's an unwritten thing. So it's not necessarily, Chase hasn't admitted that they use this 524 rule. This is something that people are kind of into the situation where they're looking at, yeah, you know what, 524 is, this is the way that they do things, but it hasn't been put out there by them. So that's just kind of how that goes. And I'm going off on a tangent on that, so I don't want to do that. So let's focus on the cards. So the main reason that I went with, let's see, what are we talking about here? The chat. Oops, already almost there. Hi. Yeah, an eBay business. You can use eBay business if you're selling on eBay. That does work. All right, and I saw a few things go up. I just wanted to make sure I addressed that. But yeah, if you have an eBay business, a side business, you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Amazon, you can use both those businesses, and you'll be surprised at some cards that you can get. This is my 3rd business card. I have the Chase Inc. Business Plus card, the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, and then I have this United card. Now, the main reason that I got the card, and you can see it right here, you get the 75,000 bonus points. That's after spending $5,000 within the first 3 months. So that's the reason that I got the card, because the other bonus as of right now is 40,000. So that's what kind of steered me, and I said, okay, you know what? Yeah, 40,000, 75,000. I'll go with the 75,000 if I can get that one. That would work out better for me. Mainly because, like I said, the travel that I do, I'm the main reason that I'm traveling is because I'm going to take pictures, and then I sell my prints. So that's kind of how I justify that. All right, so let's look at the Explorer card that I got, and we'll go over some of the benefits of this card. All right, so as I stated earlier, 75,000 bonus points. That's after spending $5,000 within the first 3 months. Now, this offer ends on March 18th, 2019. So if you are in the market getting a new card, then you might want to consider getting this card if you have a business. So just something to think about. Now, this is a thing too that's interesting, and I don't have another card that has this. This is the first card that I have that has this. But you see this little little icon here, so like it looks like a Wi-Fi icon. That will allow you to do that tap to pay. So if you go, instead of putting your card in the machine, you can just kind of tap the outside of the machine. So I thought that was something interesting. I haven't used it yet, but that it does allow you to do the tap to pay thing. So that's different. Okay, so let's look at some of, first off, the annual fee too. I didn't talk about that. So it's a $95 annual fee. They are waiving it the first year, so you have 1 year to kind of get used to the card, see if you like it. All right, let's see here. Explore business travel. Okay, so, and some of the benefits of the card, the first first check bag is free, and they're pretty much saying you can get $120 like value out of that. So I'm always big when it comes to getting, if I'm going to fly on an airline and I want to make that commitment, then I'll get their credit card because I get that free check bag. And although in the past that wasn't even a thing where we had to pay for bags, now you do. So if you can get a card and you know that you're going to be committed to that airline, or at least the partnership that the airline has. So if I fly on United and I'm in the Star Alliance, I fly with those airlines, then I'll get that free check back. So that's something that's really one of the reasons why you should consider. You get the 2 United Club points, or 2 United Club Lounge passes. It's been a long day today. I've been out running, ripping and running. I just wanted to come on and do this because I saw that I got my passport, so I was kind of happy. So that's the reason that I jumped on. But I'm fumbling all over my words today for whatever reason. All right, priority boarding. So priority boarding is big too. I like to get on the plane as soon as possible. The main reason for that is I want to be able to put my luggage in the overhead bin. I do a lot of travel with just a carry-on and my personal item. I don't always check my bags. If it's free check bag, you might want to consider checking it, but there are situations where I'm not packing everything, so I don't need to pack a big carry-on. So if I just have a big check luggage, I should say, if I just have my carry-on, I'm fine with that. And I like to kind of get out as soon as I get out of the airport, or as soon as we land. I like to just get out and just go straight to the taxi, not have to go to baggage claim or anything like that. So that's another benefit. But the priority boarding is good because I want to be able to get that space right over me or in front of me. I hate some situations you get on the plane late, there's no room where you are, so you have to put your bag down the way, and then you have to be the last one off the plane because you have to wait to get your bag, and just it's a nightmare. So if you can get on as soon as possible, get your bags where you want them, and then get comfortable too. Get in your seat, get comfortable, and you don't have to worry about stepping over people and all that stuff. All right, no foreign transaction fees, so that is a big one for if you want to use this in other countries. You don't have to pay any foreign transaction fees. Let's see, we talked about 75,000 bonus points. Let's see, what else? You're going to earn 2 points for every dollar on the following categories. So it's going to be restaurants, gas stations, office supply stores. So big ones for me, gas station and office supply stores. Not so much because I have a card. The Chase Ink Business Plus card gets me 5 points for every dollar spent at office supply stores. So I would use that card in that situation. Gas stations, 2 points for every dollar spent. That's pretty good. And I think I have one other card that will give me 2 points for every dollar spent, but that's still good for gas. And in the restaurants, I would use the Chase Sapphire Reserve in this situation because I can get 3 points for every dollar spent as opposed to the 2 points. And as far as United goes, you get 2 points for every dollar spent, and that's with the United purchases. However, you can get better value with other cards. Chase Sapphire Reserve, you can get better value. So you just have to kind of look at that. Now, mainly, I'm not getting this card because it has exceptional earn possibility. I'm getting this card because of the priority boarding and the free check bag. That's the main reason that I'm getting it. And if I do want to use this card, like to spend, you can, if you spend $25,000 on the card within the year, then it helps you when it comes to your elite status. If you want to really make that commitment with the airline and fly using their elite status. So that's just something to think about. If you have a business that will allow you to easily get that $25,000 in a year on spend, then it makes sense to do it. In my situation, I don't. This is better for a situation if you're buying a lot of product. If you're buying product and you're selling it, let's say you have an eBay business, you're buying a lot of product and you're reselling it, well, then it makes sense. In my situation, I'm spending a lot of money on just the travel, and then I'm taking pictures and then selling those prints. So I'm not making that much, I'm not spending that much when it comes to like product. So just something to think about when it comes to that. But if you can hit that $25,000 it would really benefit you with this card for elite status, and just elite status, not for anything else. All right, let's see. So you earn unlimited miles and they don't expire, so that's good. You can get additional employee cards, so that's also good. And then they talk about the premier upgrades, but you have to have an elite status in order to qualify for those. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of go over the card. Now, the difference between this card and, let's see if we can't pull the other one up here. This card and the regular personal card, there are some benefits on that card that you don't get with the business card. And let's go over it just really quickly. I want to go over it. So you do get the free check bag, you get the priority boarding, you get the 2 United club passes, you get the $100 global entry TSA pre-check fee credit. So you get that. You don't get that with the business card. So I already get this on another card, so that's not a deal breaker for me. I can still benefit from that. So you get the 2 miles. So you get the 2 points for every dollar spent at restaurants and hotel accommodations, whereas you get gas stations and office supply stores and restaurants with the business card. And so that kind of rounds out some of the benefits. I don't really see anything else that stands out to me. So there are a few different things that you'll get with the personal card, but the big thing right now with the business card is you're going to get 75,000 bonus points. So that's where I look at the real benefit on this card. Okay, let's look at some of these questions here. I know people were chatting about different things. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, if you come in, if you guys are here, just let me know you're here. Say hi, so I know you guys are here. I don't have my screen open, so I can't really see who's all, like, I can't see the number of people that are in here. So let's see. So World Walker, we already said hi to you. David, how you doing? Let's see. Let's see. All right, just give me a second. Okay, so he's saying the Marriott business is in the 524 now, question mark. So with business cards, this is what I was told. As far as business cards, if you, let's say you're trying to get that Marriott business card and you're already over the 524 and you try to qualify, or let's say you have 5 cards already and you're trying to qualify for the Marriott business card, you're going to get denied. So you can't get the card if you have that 524 already, or if that makes the 524, if that makes sense. If you have the card, so let's say you have a total of 6 cards right now, right? And one of those cards is a business card. Well, that business card won't keep you. Let me put it this way. You have 5 cards. I'm trying to think of a good scenario. So let's say you have 5 cards, right? If you have 5 regular personal cards, then now you've hit that 524 rule, because within the last 24 months you have 5 cards, right? So you're at that point, so you can't get a new card. But let's say you have 5 cards, one of those cards is a business card. Well, now you still have a slot open because that business card doesn't qualify as like a 524. It's a card that gives you another slot so you can get another card and then make your 5 cards, and you'll have 5 personal cards and then a business card. They separate them, and the reason why they do that is because your business cards are in a lot of situations, let's say you have a corporation or something like that, well, that business card is not tied into your regular credit. That credit is separate. So if your business goes under and all that, it's not going to affect your personal credit. If you're a sole proprietor, yes, it will affect your personal credit. However, that business card is still a separate entity, and it doesn't even show up like as far as my credit utilization. It's not going to show up on there. Now, if I don't make payments, yeah, it can mess my credit up, but it's not going to show up on my credit utilization because it's a business card. So I hope that makes sense. That's what I was told when it comes to that. I can't get a card. So if I already have the 524 rule, and let's say I applied for the personal United card, I'm already over the 524, and they deny me. And that's the reason for because of the 524. I won't be able to get the personal card. And then even if I apply for the business card, I'm still not going to be able to get the business card because I'm over that 524 rule. Now, like I said, if you're under the 524 rule and you get that business card, it shouldn't count against you to get another card. So you can get that business card plus you can get another card and still be able to fall under the 524. So I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing to me, but it's one of those things where the main reason that I look at business cards is because first off, I have a business, and if I can really work on my credit utilization, have it separate. So I have my business stuff all separate credit cards, then have personal cards that are separate. It helps out in situations where I don't want this to count against me as far as 524. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Let's see. Tap to pay. You feel like I actually have money. Okay, 2 United Club passes are worth like $30 tops. Yeah, they're not worth money. They're not worth a lot of money. This is World Walker saying that. But it's good to have. If you're caught in a situation where I have Priority Pass right now, so I'll use that over the lounge or the United Lounge Access. But if I am in a situation where I can't get Priority Pass, or like I can't use one of those lounges, or if I go to one of those lounges and they're full and they won't, there's no seats and all that, well, then I can use one of these United passes. But yeah, they're not worth a lot of money. And even Priority Pass, to be honest with you, I think it's like $27. I think they actually went up. It might be $32 now. But you can go. Anyone can go to a Priority Pass lounge, pay $32 and go in there. It's not worth it, I can tell you that. I mean, you're not going to get $32 worth of value out of it. For the most part, you can, if you really want food and stuff like that, so you can spend $32 in the airport. You might not even get much with $32 in the airport, but still, you can sit down and have a meal. Whereas if you go to a lounge, most lounges aren't going to have a full-on meal. They'll have snacks and stuff like that. All right, let's see. What are some of the other questions we have? Hold on. Just skip down here. Okay, so you guys are just talking about the lounges being bad. Yeah, I haven't heard good things about the lounge, the United Lounge. I heard that they're remodeling, so maybe they're improving some of them. Okay, he's a Spirit Airlines lounge. I've never been in a Spirit Airlines lounge. The free check bag, I believe it is also for international flight. I don't see, it doesn't say, let's see. Reservations. Yeah, it doesn't say otherwise. So I would think it's for international as well. Let's see. Okay, United program bores the hell out of me. That's World of Walker saying that. Yeah, what airline do you fly, World of Walker? Just out of curiosity. International, cheapest fare. Had to pay the check back. Okay, so Ivan's talking about, let's see, is it that just for United or every other airline? Fly American Airlines International on the cheapest fare and had to pay for check bag. Yeah, I mean, the only reason that I'm saying it's a free check bag is because with the credit card you get that. Now, if you're flying on American and you don't have a credit card, they don't offer the free check bag, then yeah, you're going to have to pay. Or you might not, I don't know. Let's see, I guess you're saying that you do have to pay with the cheapest fare and had to pay for check bag. Yeah, you'll have to check with each airline. But in most situations, if you have a credit card and you have the free check bag, then you can use it and get it free and not have to pay for your check bag. Now, some airlines will tell you that you have to use that card when you make your purchase, when you purchase your ticket, which kind of gets tricky because they say part or all. So let's say I'm flying, I'm using points. Well, I have to pay taxes and fuel. So I use my credit card to pay the taxes and fuel, and that credit card is the one that's going to get me the free check bag. And I know United they do specify that it has to be that card that you use. So I'm hoping, and I'll have to see. I haven't actually tested this out. When I fly business class, and usually if I can, when I use points, I try to fly business class, then I get a free check bag anyway. But in situations where, let's say you're flying economy and you do pay with your card, does that qualify just paying for the taxes and fuel, not paying for the full fare because I'm using points? So we'll have to see how that works. Let's see. That's because I flew the cheapest airfare and pay for a normal economy. Okay. Yeah, and they have, like United does have like a basic fare, like the cheapest that you can possibly pay, and I think you even have to pay for like a carry-on. It gets that crazy. So I would never recommend that. Always pay the little extra to get like a regular economy seat. Don't do the basic economy. Do the regular economy if you can, because you're not going to save money unless you're one of those people that can just pack everything in a small personal item and not have a carry-on. Then you're not going to make out. You're going to end up paying more money. And it's like Spirit Airlines, the same thing. You get on Spirit Airlines and they're charging you for all this different stuff that it might be cheap when you purchase your ticket, but then when you get on the plane, you have to pay for water and you have to pay for all this other stuff, the carry-on bag and all that. So it just, in the long run, you can save money just by getting the economy seat. All right, let's see, Walker. I have 25 credit cards. I feel like I'm going to keep like 11. Should I keep all the credit line open? Yeah, as far as credit lines, and I don't, and I talk about this. I don't get a lot of different credit cards. This is my 7th credit card, and I will be getting rid of one. So I only use about 4 to 5 credit cards at a time, and you want to keep the credit card that you've had the longest. You want to make sure you keep that credit line open because that really establishes that's what established your credit. So it just shows your long credit history. So you want to keep that one open. As far as the other credit cards, that's up to you. If your credit to debt ratio, if you have more credit cards and you're not using all of them, then you have more spending power, I guess you can say. So it looks good to creditors, but that's totally up to you. Now, if you have a lot of credit cards and you're paying all these annual fees and you're not using the card and you're not getting the benefits out of the card every year, then you might want to consider canceling those cards or downgrading them to a card that doesn't have an annual fee. So that's also another option you can think of. All right. And I am not a financial expert too, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but this is just what I would do in situations like that. If I had 25 credit cards and I wanted to downgrade, then I would try if I wanted to get rid of some cards, then I would try to downgrade them first with a card that doesn't have an annual fee. And that way I keep that credit line open, because I keep the credit line open, it'll give me more spending power. So that's what I would look at doing. Okay, let's see. For businesses, wouldn't an LLC be better for business cards instead of a sole proprietor? Absolutely. So that's Derek asking that question. An LLC would be much better than a sole proprietor. I just happen to have a sole proprietor now as a photographer. I have insurance, like I shoot weddings and stuff like that. I have insurance for that, and I have insurance for my equipment. But when it comes to getting an LLC, at this point in what I'm doing right now, it's really not beneficial to me. But for credit card stuff, yeah, it's absolutely beneficial, because you can get the tax ID, and I think you can still get a tax ID even though you don't have an LLC, but it gives you more protections. And so ultimately, then you can really separate your business cards from your personal stuff. Right now, I'm using my Social Security. If I got a tax ID, then I can really separate everything. If I had an LLC, then it will protect me from lawsuits and things like that. But like right now, like I said, I have insurance, and that's what I use. So I have liability insurance. If I'm shooting a wedding and grandma trips over my tripod and hurts herself, well, I have, a deductible that will take care, or not deductible, I'm sorry. I have insurance that will take care of that. But an LLC would be the next step up. All right, let's see. Okay, so World Walker said it doesn't really matter. I think it does, but that's his opinion. Let's see. It makes sense for me. I can speak for others, though. Okay, Jeezy. Okay, so World Walker's talking about international bags. And I can't even, honestly, when it comes to flying internationally, in the last 2 years, I've been flying business class or first class. So you automatically get a bag. So it's not even a question of if you're flying economy, it's a little different. I don't know what every airline does as far as do they recommend. If you're flying international, do you get a free check bag? I don't know. But in my situation, if you're flying business class, you're going to get a free check bag. If you're flying first class, you're going to get a free check bag. And even if I'm getting a free check bag, if I can do it, the way that I like to do it is I like to just have a carry-on personal item, and I'm good to go. So that's kind of how I do things. It makes things so much easier. I don't have to go and check my bag and then go to the checkpoint, to the security checkpoint. I can just go straight to my terminal. So it works out for me a lot better. So in a lot of situations, I don't even check. I don't even, when it comes to that, I don't check. So that's just the way that I do things. But you'll have to check with the airline. You might be able to get a free check bag. But it's always nice if you have a credit card that'll allow you to do that, it's always nice to use it if you need to. Okay, let's see. World of Walker, Southwest. Passports. I'm booking a round trip ticket to PH in June. 2 months. Well, I need to throw away a ticket because I already have a round trip ticket. Okay, let's see. Derek, what are we saying here? Speaking of passports, I'm booking a round trip ticket to the Philippines in June for 2 months. Well, I need to throw away a ticket because I'll already have a round trip ticket. I don't really know what you're asking, Derek, so if you can put some more information in there, then I'll try to see if I can help you. The Advantage cards are a good deal. Wait, the Advantage cards are a good deal. And you put a question mark there. So as far as the way I look at the Advantage cards, I'm not going to say anything really bad about the Advantage cards themselves. It's more of the airline. So if I'm going to get an Advantage card, obviously I'm going to make a commitment to fly with American Airlines. I made that commitment the last couple of years, and I just wasn't happy with them. So that's why I went with United. So it's not necessarily the card and the earn possibility with the card and all that. It's more of just the experience flying. with them. All right. Okay, so World of Walkers said I just got approved for the Radisson credit card. Any thoughts on this card? I don't know anything about the Radisson card, and I've never stayed at Radisson, so I couldn't help you with that. But yeah, what I recommend, like when it comes to getting credit cards, if it's a hotel credit card, airline credit card, or if it's mainly those two, like those are the two situations where I would try out the property first. So I would stay at a Radisson, see if I like the customer service, see if I like the hotels, and then get the card. As far as airlines, the same thing. I'd fly with the airline a few times to see if I like the airline, and then get the card. Just because the situations like that where you're getting a hotel card or an airline card, you're making a commitment. You're making a commitment to stay with that airline, or to fly with that airline, or to stay at that hotel. And so that's why I would test it out first and then get the card. Okay, let's see. I know international is generally free check bag for up to 50 pounds, sometimes 2 free check bags. Okay, all right. So that's probably pretty universal then, as far as the free check bag for international. Let's see, just fly Southwest. Damn, Southwest. I'm not a big fan of Southwest, and the main reason is, and this is just my personal opinion, I like to know where I'm sitting. I like to choose my seat prior to getting on the plane, if at all possible. I don't like getting on the plane and then having to figure out where I'm going to sit and all that. So I'm just more comfortable with if I'm going to fly something comparable to Southwest, I'm going to fly a JetBlue, even Alaska Airlines. I like to pick my seat. I don't want to get there late to the terminal and then have to jump on the plane and I'm sitting in the middle seat, or I'm sitting in an aisle. I just don't want to have to deal with that. Some people swear by Southwest. They use that companion fare, and that's great for them. But for me, I like to be able to choose my seat. Okay, let's see. U.S. Bank Radisson card is underrated as hell. 40,000 points upon renewal. Okay, I'll look more into that card, but I just haven't. Yeah, I haven't stayed at the property, so I wouldn't know that much about it. Okay. Okay, so give her credits just saying you're lucky because I'm a guy, I can fly with a carry-on. Now, I will tell you, and look at it this way. Look at my size. So the clothes that I put in my suitcase are probably larger than the clothes that the average woman would put in her suitcase. I get it. Women like to pack more, but you can also think of this too. Like when you travel, think about, and this is what I started doing. When I first started traveling, I had no clue of this, or I didn't really think about it, but you can get on Google Maps, do the little street view, find the hotel that you're staying in, or find the Airbnb. If you're staying in an Airbnb, that's even better, but let's say it's a hotel. Find the hotel where you're staying, do Google street map, go down that street and look at what's there. If you find like a laundry service, I wouldn't really do a laundry mat, but like a laundry service is perfect, where you take your clothes there, they wash them. If you're in certain countries like Thailand and in Colombia, I like to travel to Colombia a lot. They'll do your laundry and it's really cheap. It's not, I mean, it's like under $10 for them to do your whole, everything that you brought. So situations like that, you can pack a carry-on, because let's say you have to pack 5 outfits. So 5 complete outfits and a couple pair of shoes or whatever, put it all in a carry-on. And when you get to your destination, let's say you're staying there for 10 days. When you get to your destination, you wear some clothes, and then halfway through, get those clothes all washed, and then you can wear them again. So that's kind of the thing that I start doing now, and it makes things so much easier, because I don't have to worry about going to baggage claim to get my bags. I don't have to worry about lugging an extra bag. All I need is carry-on luggage and my personal items. So that's just how I do it. It worked for me, and the last few trips that I've gone on, that's what I've done. Now Airbnbs, those are even better because a lot of them will have laundry. You know, they'll have the washer and dryer and all that there. That's perfect. You're there. You can wash your clothes, and you're all set. So just some different things to think about. So you don't always have to pack a bunch of stuff. You know, if you're staying 10 days, you don't have to pack your clothes for 10 or 11 days. You can pack your clothes for 5 days and wash your clothes in between. And women are really good about mixing and matching their clothes so it doesn't look like you're wearing the same clothes, you know, every other day or what have you. So it just, yeah, it can work. You can definitely work it. So it just, like I said, for me, it just makes it that much more convenient. All right, let's see. Okay, okay, so Derek is talking a little bit more, 2 months. Get 30-day visa, but I'm planning on staying for 2 months, so it'd be okay. Let's just okay, so you're asking about a visa question. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that all works. If you get a 30-day visa, but you plan to stay for 2 months, and your return ticket, I guess, is your return ticket's at that 2 month mark. I guess that's what you're saying. Or do you get 2 tickets? Yeah, I don't know about that. That's something you're gonna want to look into. I don't want to give any advice on that visa stuff because I don't want you to be out there and, oh, well, David told me, you know, this, that. No, yeah, you want to make sure you do that right. Now, if they give you a 30-day visa and you have a ticket that shows you coming back in 2 months, they might not even let you in. So that's something you have to consider. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. And maybe you can do, like, if you go to the Philippines, do like have a flight. Let's say you fly to the Philippines and then you have another flight that will take you to another country nearby. And you can show them that, okay, I'm going to be leaving for a couple of days and I'll go to this country and then I'm going to come back to the Philippines and then stay another 30 days. You might be able to do it that way, but yeah, I wouldn't really mess around with that. If you only have a 30-day visa, don't try to overstay that. All right. Okay. Jeezy, should I get a Barclay JetBlue Plus card, 40,000 points, or wait until it goes up to 60,000? I mean, you can wait. So it's just asking about the JetBlue card, and the JetBlue card is really good. That was one of the cards. It was between United and JetBlue, the two cards I was looking at. And I still might get a JetBlue card because I love flying on JetBlue. Now, it's at 40,000 right now, and this is what he's saying. It's at 40,000. Should I wait until it goes up to 60,000? There are no guarantees that it will go up to 60,000, but yeah, if you're in a situation where you don't need a card or you don't need to get the JetBlue card, then wait and see what happens. It's at 40,000. It very rarely will go under 40,000, so you're probably safe waiting. And I mean, it's not going to go down to 25 or 30,000. You probably stay at 40,000. So it doesn't hurt to wait. If you can afford to wait, then wait. But yeah, JetBlue is definitely a good card to get. Let's see. And World of Walker said he would wait. Yeah, that's good. Okay, World of Walker. Airbnb needs to get a damn credit card. Yeah. So Airbnb needs to get a credit card. Yeah, and I don't know how that would work if they got a credit card. But Airbnb, I can't say enough good things about Airbnb. Now, you have to do your research. You want to really look at the reviews on the hotel or the Airbnb if you're going to stay at Airbnb. But yeah, it's definitely a good way to go for a lot of different situations. And if they have that washer dryer, you're set. I mean, you don't have to pack that much, and that's the thing that I like about Airbnb. Let's see. Oh, cool things for the tip. I never thought about that. Okay. And yeah, like I said, give her credit. It's talking about she never thought about the washing the clothes. It works. That's And I'm telling you, when I was in Thailand in August, and I did it twice. It's ridiculous, but we stayed there. I was there for 12 days. I had 5 different outfits, and then, I don't know, it sounds weird when the guy says outfits. 5 different things, clothes for the day or whatever. 5 days I had worth of clothes. And then I wore one. So let's say that's 6 days total, right? And so about 4 days in, went down, and in my situation, I did a video on this too, so if you check my channel, you can see the video, but, and it's laundry something, the title. Like the 4th day in, we go down and we have them wash our clothes. And I think it was between $10 and $12, and they washed all my clothes. And then the 2 days before we left, I went right back down, had them wash all my clothes again. And I didn't need them washed, but I didn't need all of them washed, but I just had them wash them all just because I wanted them, because they wash them, they fold them. I wanted them to have them all nice and neat, folded, so I can just put them in my luggage. I didn't have to really pack anything because they were in a bag, like sealed, were they sealed? They were wrapped in a bag, so all I needed to do was just put it in my luggage. So that's the reason that I got. So I spent an extra $10 just to do that. But it's less headache for me, right? I didn't have to pack everything. I didn't have to have all my clean clothes with the dirty clothes, all that. It was just easier that way. All right. Let's see. Okay, all right, guys, relax. Talking about sexism. I get it. Women pack more because, I totally get it. It's not even for me, it's the truth. Like, guys, we can go on minimal stuff. I've known guys it's funny, I had a buddy, and back in the day, and I still go to Las Vegas. I just came from Las Vegas last week, but we would go to the Super Bowl every year. We'd go to Las Vegas to watch Super Bowl, and he used to come, and he would pack, and I kid you not, it was this little duffel bag, and he would pack that for 3 days. But it's a tiny little duffel bag, and it was just the funniest thing. We used to tease him all the time, but, his whole thing was, I'm wearing a pair of jeans, all I need is another pair of shorts, and some t-shirts, and I'm good. I'm good for 3 days. And, some underwear, of course, I would think. I don't know. I didn't look through his bag, but I'm just saying, he had this little duffel bag. And, I get it. Women want to, go out to the club, you have to wear something. To go here, you have to wear something. Bathing suits, all that good stuff. Guys, we can get away with a lot less. So, I get that. I understand that. But when it comes down to it, that laundry service is it doesn't matter how much, like, different things that you want to wear. You can just bring one of each thing and then wash it and then wear it again. So that really works out. All right, let's see. Okay, so Derek says, yeah, I know I have to get an extension visa. Okay, yeah. Like I said, when it comes to that, I haven't been to the Philippines, but when it comes to that, yeah, you don't want to mess around with when it comes to situations like that. You want to make sure you take care of the whole visa thing, because if you overstay your visa, they're not going to lock you up, but you do have to pay fines and stuff like that. You don't want to have to do that. I thought you were going to Philadelphia. No, Philadelphia. You would need a visa for Philadelphia, World Walker. Let's see. Have you ever been somewhere where the language barrier was too much? Okay, so World of Walker asked a good question here. Is just as far as language barriers, have you ever been somewhere where the language was just, you didn't know any of the language? I'm not going to say it's easy, but you can, as long as you know basic things, hello, goodbye, thank you, bathroom. Those are like the 4 major things that you need to know. So you learn those and then use Google Translate. If you're in different countries, use Google Translate. You can download it onto your phone. So you can download whatever language onto your phone. You can talk into it in English. It will translate it into whatever the language is. and you can play it back in that language, so it will actually speak to the person in that language, or you can just show them your phone if you're in a situation where you need to do that. I don't let that stop me. When it comes down to where I travel, I don't let it stop me. Went to Thailand. I didn't know the language, okay? I knew a few words, Sawadee that, I mean, basic stuff I knew. Now, if you're in tourist areas, generally, English is pretty much the international language. So a lot of people will know English in some of these areas. If you're in tourist areas, usually they'll know English, or at least some English. And then you'll always have like signs that are whatever the language is and English. And I find that pretty much everywhere I go. You'll always have, especially if you're in an airport, you're going to have the sign. It's going to say whatever, and then it's going to say what the language, one language, baggage claim, and then it'll say English. In English it'll say baggage claim. So you can make it. It's not as difficult as you might think. Those are some of the fears that people have about travel that I think are not really even anything that you should be concerned with. Get Google Translate and you're fine. In your tourist areas, you're going to have people that are going to speak English, and so it's nothing that I worry. I will never look at a place to visit and say I don't want to go there because I don't speak the language, or I'm afraid to learn the language, or I might get lost because I don't know the language. I wouldn't worry about that. I really wouldn't. You can also get Google Maps on your phone, download the city, so you'll have a map of the city. And the reason I say download it, when you download it to your phone, you don't need Wi-Fi. So if you download Google Translate, if you download that language, I don't need Wi-Fi. So when I'm there, I'm just typing in whatever. I don't need any internet connection, Wi-Fi, data, whatever. I don't need any of that stuff, and it'll spit out the language that way. So that's the main reason for downloading it. Okay, let's go down here. Ever been somewhere? Okay, so we talked about that. No, the Philippines, yeah. Getting mixed answers on tickets, and if I can get in, and if I should try. Yeah, and Derek's just talking about he's getting mixed messages as far as what to do if he wants to stay 2 months, but he only has a 30-day visa. I would contact the. The Board of Tourism, they should have one in the Philippines. I would contact them, or you can contact somewhere in the U.S. or talk to some people in the U.S. that have the knowledge, like the tourist boards and all that kind of stuff, and maybe they can give you better information. But I wouldn't just talk to random people, and even talk to me. Like I said, I don't know. I don't have a clue how to do that. But you want to talk to the right people, because the last thing you want to do is be in a country or try to get into a country and not be able to get in because your ticket is showing that you're coming back 30 days after the time that you're supposed to come back. So yeah, something that I would talk to the right people when it comes to that. And maybe, you got your visa, and I don't know how exactly you got your visa, but where you got your visa, you can talk to those people, and I'm sure they can give you the correct information. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so Derek is talking about the Google Translate, and you can always find people that speak English. You can. Even certain countries that I was shocked, like when I started going to Colombia, I was shocked that people didn't speak English, like for the most part. I was thinking, I don't know, just in my head, thinking, oh, they speak Spanish, but they speak English too. A lot of people in Colombia don't speak English. They know the basic words, but they don't know how to hold a conversation. But I know a little Spanish myself. And then once you start kind of figuring things out, then you can go to areas and they'll speak English. If you're staying at a hotel, if it's an American hotel, you're going to have people that speak English at the hotel. So that's another thing you can think about too when you're planning your trips. If you're going to stay at a Hyatt, a Hilton, a Marriott, IHG, if you're going to stay at those properties, generally you're going to have people there that will speak English. So you don't have to really get too concerned with that. And they'll tell you how to get to different places. A lot of the people that drive taxis, now even Uber, you have some people that they'll speak English. So you'll be fine. You go on the excursions and all that stuff, you're going to have people that will speak English. You even have English tours that will take you different places. And I mean, they're tours, but they're in English, and they tell you that up front so you know. Okay, let's see. Yeah. And it's funny because, yeah, Americans in Walker was just talking about it's such a headache not knowing the language. We're such dumb Americans. And a lot of other countries, people speak so many different languages. In America, we generally will speak English, but we don't really learn other languages for the most part. So, yeah, a lot of other countries, it's not the same as out here. Let's see, language, 8 hours sleep, learning. Okay, and what I'm using now is, just so you know, and I'm not sponsored by these people or anything, but I have the app Duolingo, and you can try that app out. It's pretty good. It's free. I think there's a paid version, but that one it just doesn't show you the advertisement. But it's pretty good, and it's on your phone, so I can do it. I can use it, or it basically teaches you can learn a new language through it, and you just go through a different series of exercises. But it's nice because it's on your phone, so I get bored. It takes like 5 minutes to go through each lesson, and so you just go through the lesson. If you have a little earpiece in, you can have an earpiece in while you're sitting in anywhere, and then just go through the different little tests. Excuse me. So I would recommend that. Just to kind of, like I said, you want to know basic words, bathroom and thank you and hello and all that. You want to know those words. But for the most part, you'll be fine with Google Translate. All right. And let's see. So Julio Gonzalez is talking about Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is good, but it's a little more expensive, and nothing's better than free. So if you get Duolingo, it's a little app. It's free. Try that first. And if you're not learning fast enough, or you're not learning what you want to learn, then you can get into some of the paid applications. Let's see. Yeah, and so World of Walker is talking about learning a language. It can take years, and that's true. But you're not trying. My goal is not to learn the full language. Well, with Spanish it is. I want to learn Spanish. I've always wanted to learn Spanish. But with going to all these different destinations, my goal is not to learn the whole language, but my goal is to learn enough so if I need something, I can figure out a way to get it. And another thing too, body language goes a long way. And that's something that you'll learn too when you're in different countries. We have like universal symbols for a lot of different things, like drinking and money and just a variety of different things. It's body language, like universal. People will understand what you're saying, even if they don't understand the language, just by some of the body language that you're exhibiting. So just understand that too. So you don't have to necessarily know the whole language or know a lot of the language. You can still kind of show people through body language what you need. All right, let's see. Let's say Jeezy's saying I've been to Japan, or have you been to Japan? Which airlines is best to go there? I have not been to Japan, so I couldn't answer that question for you. But when it comes down to airlines, and just so you know, like, I don't look at specific airlines when I'm looking to travel to different places. I will go with, like, let's say United. So I have the United card. I want to fly with United. They're Star Alliance partners. So when I'm ready to book a trip to, let's say I'm booking a trip to Japan, what I'll do is I'll get on United Airlines, their website. I'll type in Los Angeles, so LAX to Japan, and it's gonna pull up all these different flights. And some of the flights might be with Japan or with United Airlines, and some of the flights will be with other airlines. And because they're a partner, you can all you need to do is book your stuff through United, and it will automatically book you on whatever airline that is. Now, if you want more information about the airline, then you can get on Seat Guru. I highly recommend that website, because Seat Guru will show you your exact plane. It will show you pictures. People take pictures on the plane, and they put it in there, so it'll show you pictures on the plane. It'll show you the different seats. What are the best seats to sit in? What are the seats that you don't want to sit in? For a variety of different reasons, like some seats don't have a window, just different things like that. But you can get some information about the different planes that way. And so that's what I recommend. But I never look at like, okay, I want to fly to Japan, so I want to fly on this airline. I generally don't do that. If that's the type of person you are, you want to fly, and like it matters. If you're flying economy, it doesn't really matter too much. But if you are flying business class or first class, and you want to fly in one of those really luxurious seats or cabins, little apartments, what they call the little first class apartments and stuff like that on certain airlines, then you might want to say, okay, I'm going to go directly to that airline. I'm going to book my stuff through them. But for the most part, I just go on whatever. So if it's Star Alliance, I go on Star Alliance. I go on United's website. It'll show me all the airlines that are Star Alliance airlines. All right. Okay, so do you think the Midwest gets a bad rap for travel? World Walker saying that. I don't know what you mean. Midwest gets a bad rap for travel. I don't know what that means. If you elaborate a little more, maybe I'll know. Let's see. People need to stop going to LA and New York and hit up Cleveland. Oh, okay. So you're saying just people don't travel to the Midwest as often as some of the other cities. I don't know. I mean, and I don't know what's in the Midwest, to be honest with you, because I don't really travel to the Midwest very often. But there are a lot of different things on the coast that draw people in. I mean, LA, you have Hollywood. New York, you have what they have in New York. I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of stuff in New York that people want to go see in New York. The Statue of Liberty, the just Manhattan and all that, the lights and all that stuff. And like I said, Los Angeles, you have Hollywood, you have the beaches, you have a lot of different things that are more, they draw people in a little bit more than Cleveland and some of these other Midwest states. So, I mean, that's the way it is. Maybe if there were more draws in the Midwest, then people would go to those areas more. Let's see. Okay, so give her the credit. Says I use the app Modly to learn French. I haven't heard that app. I haven't heard of that one before. Maybe I'll look at that one as well. Okay, I'm trying to learn French. Yeah, I never learned French, and when I went to Paris, I didn't know anything. I was really bad when it came to that. But I stayed at Hyatt Regency, and they spoke English at the hotel, and I just kind of fumbled my way through. I was there for 6 days. I went on a few like excursions and things like that. They spoke English on the excursions. They showed me how to use the subway system. I did like a photography tour. They showed me how to use the subway system. And I just pretty much did my own thing. And that was like a solo trip. That was the first time I've ever gone anywhere solo. And I was fine. Like I was never in a situation where I felt like, oh, I'm confused, I'm lost, I don't know how to get to here, I don't know how to ask people. I was never in that situation. And I had Google Translate. I never used it. I didn't have to use it. Most people spoke English that I dealt with, and I even went to some real small towns, and I could still find. And there are a lot of people that are speaking English there, like foreign travelers too. So yeah, it wasn't very hard in Paris. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, we've gone through everything. Wait, did I stay? The category 4 Hyatt. You can get free with the anniversary night. How was that? So World of Walker's asking me about Hyatt. Did I stay at a category 4 Hyatt? You can get free with anniversary night. Are you asking me? So when I went to Las Vegas, I stayed at Hyatt, but I stayed at Hyatt Place and I didn't use the free night. One thing you have to be aware of too when it comes to the free night, they say category 4 or lower, but it's not a guarantee. So it's not a guarantee. So there are a lot of hotels you can check out. Like I'm going to Hawaii in June, so I looked on. They have 3 different Hyatt properties, and none of those Hyatt properties will allow me to use the free night, even though 2 of them are category 4 or below. So they don't always offer it, and so you have these free nights. And I love Hyatt. I like staying at Hyatt properties, but this is one of the things that's kind of frustrating. They'll have the free nights, but they won't allow you to use them in some situations. Yeah, that gets a little frustrating. Let's see. Okay, so Derek's saying that his Samsung Note 9 will translate a picture of wait. So it'll translate a picture? Okay, I don't know exactly what you meant when you said what you said at the very end there, but I guess you're saying that it translates a picture into language, I guess. I don't know. Okay. All right. I want to talk about something real quick, and that's my passport. I said we were going to talk about that, so I started talking about this credit card, but I renewed my passport, so I got it back today, and I just want to kind of take you through. I'm going to put out a full video on just renewal. I put out a video already on getting a passport, so from the beginning, like when you've never gotten a passport before, how to go through that whole process. And in this situation, I needed to renew my passport. So I've had my passport for 9 years and 3 months, something like that. So you want to renew your passport before you hit that 6-month expiration, like 6 months before it expires, because you can't travel. In a lot of situations, you won't be able to travel outside of the country if your passport only has 6 months left on it. So you want to get it. Usually, I would recommend when you hit that 9th year, I would recommend trying to renew your passport at that point. And so what I did is I expedited mine, and so a regular return is from 4 to 6 weeks. Expedited return is from 2 to 3 weeks. And then you can also get it like an expedited, you can get it in 8 days, 8 business days, but then you have to show that you're going to be flying out within that time period, and then they'll rush it to you. Now, I will tell you that I sent in all my information on January 28th, and what are we today, the 9th? So I sent everything in on January 28th. They cashed my check on January 30th, and I got this back today, but I believe it was in the mail yesterday. So it only took, what is that? From the time that I sent it, it took 10 days for me to have this in my hand. So that's pretty good. That's really good, considering, and they didn't stop anything with the whole government shutdown and all that. They didn't stop. You were still able to get your passport, and they were still showing that there was no, like, the time periods were the same. They weren't backlogged or anything like that. So that was good. But it doesn't take very long for you to get your passport in most situations. And when you expedite it, instead of paying $110 to get the renewal, I had to pay $170. So I had to pay $60 more to have it expedited. But the reason that I got it expedited is because I'm planning a trip to go to Colombia for Carnival. And for those of you who don't know, Carnival, Brazil, that's the biggest carnival that they have. But in Barranquilla, Colombia is the second largest carnival. So I've never been to any carnival, so I'd like to go to the one in Barranquilla. So that's what I'm going to be doing next month. So that's why I wanted to expedite it because I wanted to make sure that I got my passport back in time. Another thing too, when I renewed, the first time that I got my passport book, I just got the regular, I think it's like 26 pages. This time they double the pages, so you can get, or I don't know if it might be 52 or 56 pages. So I got that instead of the regular. So it doesn't cost you anything extra, which is great. So the reason that I did that is because you don't know what you're going to do in 10 years time. You might fill up all, like, let's say you have the regular passport book and it's 26 pages and you fill them all up. And then you have to send your passport back in so they can add more pages, and you have to pay for those pages. So it's better to just do it up front, get all the pages, get all the pages that you can up front. You don't have to pay anything extra. And for the most part, let's hope you won't run out of space on your passport book. Now, I got the passport book back first, the new one. You have to send in your old passport. So in order to renew, you have to send in your old one. So I had to send my old one to them. They still have my old one. They haven't sent that one back yet. They send them separate. They don't send them together. So they sent this back today. And it's funny because when I got it, I opened it up and I'm like, where's my old passport? I don't have it. And I wanted to have it just, you have your old stamps. I want to have my old stamp so I know, okay, from this time period, I traveled here. So I wanted to have that. But they send them separately. So they'll send my old one, which this is the one that, obviously this is the one that I wanted first. So they do it the right way. And then the other one I'll get whenever they send that one in. That's just something I wanted to talk a little bit about. Passports, yeah, you want to renew them. Don't wait to and I waited. I actually shouldn't have waited as long as I did. And it would have been a lot smarter if I, at that 9-year mark, go ahead and renew it. Then I don't have to worry about it. But I've been worried about it. I haven't even booked. I need to book my airfare. I'll be flying out in 3 weeks. I need to book my airfare now because I wanted to get the passport back. I didn't want any issues. I didn't want there to be them to call me and say, oh, you know what? You didn't put this on the application. You didn't put that. You need to update. I didn't want any of that drama to happen. So I wanted to wait until I actually had my passport in my hand. Then I can book my airfare. All right, now hotel I booked because hotel you can cancel, but as far as airfare, I wanted to wait until I had it. Okay. Okay, so what are we talking about? If you guys have questions, any other questions and stuff like that, go ahead and put it in the chat right now. And we talked about the Hyatt. So you don't always just because you have a free night you're not always able to use it, right? Like you're not always able to use it at any hotel, and that goes for using points plus cash, or even using points. Actually, using points for the most part, most hotels you're able to use your points, but some of them are like 20,000 points or 25,000 points for the real high-end Hyatt properties. But on average, I generally won't. I'm not going to use 20,000 points for a hotel stay with Hyatt. Usually, if it's that much, I'm going to try to do a points plus cash because you start really working. As far as the value, you have to look at the value. How much is that hotel to pay outright? Is it more than $200? If it's more than $200, well, then it could make sense to use 20,000 bonus points or 20,000 points. But if it's not, then it doesn't make sense. So you have to kind of really do the math when it comes to that, because I want to get the most value that I can out of these points. And if I'm transferring points from my Chase Sapphire Reserve or my Ultimate Rewards Program points over to Hyatt, I want to make sure I'm getting that value. And if I'm not, if I'm getting less, and when I say less value, let's say the property, or let's say the point, they're saying it's 20,000 points to stay. And I just looked at this for a trip to Hawaii, the Hyatt Centric in Waikiki. I think it's Waikiki Beach in Hawaii. It's $200. I think it's like $250 to stay $250 a night. The points that I would need is 20,000 points every night. So if you look at the Worst case scenario as far as value, 20,000 points is worth $200. And that's like the worst possible value that you can get. So I would still be making out, but even with me, 20,000 points is still more valuable to me than $250 because I know I can transfer that to an airline and I can use those 20,000 points to get me a one-way ticket somewhere. Like a one-way ticket to Colombia is a good example. If I wanted to fly to Colombia from LAX to Colombia, 20,000 points, an economy seat, that's one way. That to me, in certain situations, that value will be around $250, $300, depending on the time. Like if I'm flying out for Carnival, I already looked, you're talking one-way ticket is like $700. And that's just because that's the big event. But you can still, when it comes to points, you can still get that value because it's still going to only be 20,000. They're not going to up those points. What they'll do is they'll reduce the number of seats, so you might not be able to book it because you don't have the available seats. But I can still use those 20,000 points and fly out instead of using $700. So I can really get value. So that's what I'm looking for, value when it comes to these things, as opposed to, I don't want to use 20,000 points for a hotel stay. Bottom line is what I'm saying. If I can get away with it, 12,000 maybe. I'll use 12,000 points. But when it comes to 20,000, yeah, not for one night. In situations like that, I'll just pay cash. Let's see. Just applied for the SPG using your referral. I was approved. Thanks. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. Is it SBG or S? Are you talking about the SPG, the hotel brand? SPG. Okay. Yeah. You just sit down there. Yeah. SPG is good. That's a good. And I think right now they're doing that whole Bonvoy switch over and all that. So I think now's the time if you want to get an SPG card to get an SPG card. But yeah, that's a really good card. And in the past, it's been like, it was as far as the points guide, the way they rate the points. In the past, it was the highest rated as far as points per dollar or points per cents or however you want to say that. Yeah, that's a real good card. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on. Like I said, I wasn't on last week, and I tried. I had everything ready to go, and I was I was in Vegas, and I had all my stuff. I brought all my gear and all this stuff, camera, and set everything up, turned the thing on, did a kind of like a test stream. I like to do a test stream before I do like a real live one, just to make sure everything's working. And it was just, I mean, the Wi-Fi connection was really bad. And so I wasn't able, I mean, it was just like stutter. And I've been having issues even here, even with my internet. Now my internet's pretty good. I still have issues sometimes. And I'm still working out when it comes to all this whole setup. And I'm still new. This is like, I've been doing live streams for what? A month, maybe a month and a half now, and I only do one a week. So on this channel I do one a week, and then on my other channel I do another one. So there are different little things going on that always just mess things up, and it's frustrating when it comes to doing the streaming stuff. I enjoy it though because it's instant feedback and we can talk and help each other out and stuff like that. And like I said, by no means am I an expert when it comes to financial stuff, credit cards, travel reward cards. I'm not an expert. I just get on, I find the cards that work for me, and I use those cards. And I'll talk about my experiences, and that's pretty much it. And then I hope when we get on here and we start having dialogue that you do the same, that you come on and none of us are experts, but we just come on and we talk about our experiences. Oh, I went here, this is the way I did it. Or I traveled here, and like the laundry thing, I learned that from other people. The different credit cards to get, I learned that from other people. Oh, you know what? I got this credit card and it worked out for me. I flew on this airline, it worked out for me. So that's what it's all about. And so that's where when I come on here and when we talk and stuff like that, I like the live stream because it's instant and we can kind of go back and forth, and we can help each other out. And if I don't know the answer, someone else on here will chime in and say, yeah, you know what, I think you can do this, or I think you could do that. So that's what I really like. Let's see. Hip is asking my other channel. Okay, so I have another channel. It's actually cycling. I just got into riding a bike, and it's called Fat to Fit Cycling. And I can put a link on here. It's funny because I'm getting to the age now where I need to start. Well, let's just put it this way. When I was younger, all the way up till 22, I played football. So from 10 until 22, I played football, high school, a little bit of college. And so that was my workout. And then when I got out of college, I got a job and I started working like most people do. And you do a little exercise here and there. You go to the gym, but you're really not really committed. Or at least I wasn't. I wasn't really committed to the gym because I wasn't really working out for anything. I was just going in, every once a week, whatever. And so I found that over the years, fast forward 20 years later, I wasn't really doing much. And so then I picked up cycling. And then after I picked up cycling, and I just started really, really getting into it, I decided, you know what, I'm going to start another channel and just have a channel on just cycling, like my experience, because I'm trying to get in shape and all that, and I just think it's interesting, and it's a whole new world for me. And it's the same thing like I was talking about on here, where I'm helping other, I help people, they help me, we help each other, that kind of thing. So I wanted to do that with the cycling channel. So that's the whole reason for that channel. So it's a little bit different, and but I do come on live. I do live stream on that as well. And what I would like to do ultimately is have like a ride my bike in other countries, or not my bike, but ride a bike. I don't really want to. I've seen people do that where they have luggage, and they like luggage that's specifically designed for carrying your bike. I think that would be too much for me. I don't want to deal with that, but I would be interested in like just going, like when I was in Thailand, that would have been a perfect opportunity to ride a bike, because it's very common out there. Like you have people riding bikes all the time in Thailand. So it would have been a perfect opportunity. But at that time, I wasn't really I didn't really get into it until October of last year. And I went to Thailand in August of last year. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'll put the link here so you guys can check it out if you guys want to check out the channel. But it's new, and I'm working on the subscriber count and all that good stuff. So I think I only have, what's going on here? Let's see. I only have like 200 subscribers. So please subscribe, because I need to get more subscribers. But yeah, it's I don't even know what I was going to say. Freaking lost train of thought. Don't you hate when that happens? So I will be on tomorrow. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about. We'll have a different topic. Usually, what I want to do to start off, I want to always talk about one of the. Here, let's see. I don't know what I did here. Just give me 1 second. I lost my chat box. Okay, so what I want to do every week, just so you guys kind of know what my plan is, and chime in too if you guys have different ideas, different things you think, oh, you know what, I would like to see this, or I would like to see that, or I think this would be better, or what have you. I want to talk about a credit card, so we'll just front loaded with a credit card. We'll go over, just kind of review a different credit card that's out there. And then talk a little bit about that, and then talk about some travel experiences, because that's the real meat of what I want this channel to be. I want to talk about like different places where you've gone. One place that I really like talking about, and you guys already know, but it's Colombia. And I like talking about it because it's one of those countries that people people don't really go there. They're afraid to go there, a lot of people. And so I like talking about it because I've been there. This will be the 4th time coming up. So I've been there 3 times, and I loved every minute of it, every time that I've gone. And I've always when I leave Colombia, I'm always sad. And that's the first country that I'm actually sad to leave. Like, I went to Paris. I was ready to come home when I went to Paris. Thailand, it was fun. I had a good time, but I was okay with leaving. But Colombia is one of those countries that every time I'm ready to leave, like the night before, I'm sad. Like, I want to stay there more or longer. So it's just, yeah, I want to talk about different experiences like that and kind of get you guys open to trying places like that, because a lot of people, yeah, they have no desire to go to Colombia. And even to this day, when I say that, they're like, Colombia, why are you going there? Like, what do you do in Colombia? I mean, it's a country just like any other country. They have nice things there that you'd want to see, nice destinations, and the people are friendly and the weather is nice. I mean, it's just like any other country. But yeah, you get that pushback, and people are very, very skeptical when it comes to certain places. So I want to share my experiences, and have other people, we can talk and share different experiences as far as places where we've been, and places that we think are worth traveling to. So, okay, let's see what else we have on here. Is it better to transfer Chase Ultimate Award points to Airlines or just use the Chase Travel Portal? Okay, so James is asking about transferring points from the Chase Ultimate Awards program. So if you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, or Chase Ink Business Plus card, it's the one that I have, and then the Chase Ink, they have another version, the newer version. The Chase Ink Business Plus is no longer, they're no longer allowing new applicants for that card. But if you have points in that Ultimate Rewards system, is it better to transfer those points to the airline partners, or is it better to use the travel portal? So the Chase Ultimate Rewards program, they have their own travel portal. And it's just like Expedia or Travelocity, or you just get on there and you can put in where you want to fly and all that, and then it will update, and it will give you like, it will show you what's available, and then it'll show you how many points that it will cost to do that trip. Now, I always recommend against that, okay? Unless you're in a situation where you can't be flexible. If you can be flexible, I would recommend, and when I say flexible, I mean, let's say you have to fly out, or let's say you have to fly out on one specific day and time period. You need to fly out in the morning on this day. Well, then you might want to consider using that travel portal, because you don't have the flexibility. But let's say you have 2 days that you can kind of work with, and you don't care when you're flying out. You can fly out in the morning, you can fly out in the afternoon, whenever. Then look at transferring your points to an airline. And for example, transfer your points. What I'm going to do is I need to book the trip to Colombia, and I'm going to do that, and I'll put out a video, and I'll show you exactly step by step from how I set up everything. So how I determine, okay, this is the flight that I want. Then I'll show you how I transfer the points over to United, and then from that point, then I'll show you how I book everything. Now, if you have that flexibility, so let's say you have 2 days to work with, or even 3 days to work with, you don't really know as far as the time frame of your flight, you're very flexible, transfer it to the transfer partners, send it up to United, or I wouldn't recommend doing that first. You go on United first, find the flight that you need or that you want, and then once you found that flight, you jot down all that information, then you go to the Chase portal or the Chase Ultimate Rewards where your points are, transfer those points up to United, and then from there, then you book your flight. And you're gonna make out a lot better, because you'll be able to fly business class in a lot of situations. And I'll show you, like I've already looked at my flight, so I pretty much know what I'm booking. I hope it's still available because I looked at yesterday, and hopefully there's still some available space. But in some situations, you're going to find this is really, really crazy, but you have reward seats, right? And so let's say you have reward seats for economy, then you have reward seats for business class. Now you have with United and with all the other airlines, most of the other airlines, they work the same way, where you'll have, like, they call it reward saver seats. So those reward saver seats are the best value, and then you have reward seats. The reward seats aren't the best value, but you can still get those reward seats. So a reward saver seat to fly to Colombia business class is 35,000 points. A reward economy seat, the saver seat, is 20,000 points. Now, when you look on United's website, a lot of the economy seats they're taken. So they're not offering any reward seats for the saver seats. So you can't get the 20,000. But they're still offering, because they tell you there are no blackout dates and you can book for any seat. So they're still offering economy seats, but guess what? Those economy seats are 50,000 points. So you have 50,000 points for an economy seat, and then you have business class seats for 35,000, the saver seats, right? And they're still available. Like, as of yesterday, I looked yesterday, there's still some that are available. So obviously I'm going to book the business class seat over the economy seat. Although the business class, it's just a larger seat, and you get a meal, you get a nicer meal and stuff like that. You get the champagne and all that. But the economy seat, point-wise, it's more. You have to pay more points to get it. So sometimes it doesn't make sense, but what they're doing is they just base it on what's available. And for whatever reason, people aren't filling up those business class seats. So the long answer to your question is yes, I can book a business class seat, 35,000 points up, 35,000 points back, total of 70,000 points. And if I tried to book that through the portal, it's like $2,000, $2,500 is what it would cost, like, to probably book that like a normal, like if I was going to pay cash. But if I'm booking that through the portal, I'm going to have to use a lot more points than 70,000 points in order to book that. So I would save the portal only for situations where you have to fly. You can't be flexible at all. You have to fly at a certain time, a certain day. But if not, then transfer those points on, because that's where you're going to get the most value. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to have to go. I just got a phone call too. I'm going to have to answer this. So if you guys have any questions or further questions, just post in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. And like I said, I'll be on tomorrow, so we'll do some more stuff tomorrow. All right. Talk to you guys later.